Phoenix Police Department violates the rights of people engaged in protected speech. The
Phoenix police lied on the stand. Further shows Phoenix officers cannot be trusted in these protest cases. More dangerous than notorious gangs like the Crips and the Blood.
The Department of Justice confirmed Phoenix police repeatedly retaliated against protesters and critics.
Repeatedly retaliated against protesters and critics. Constitution gives you the right to redress your grievances with government. Government just don't like it when you do it.
By targeting them with bogus cases and false charges, all of it based on complete lies. I'm ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscobing, and you're watching another story in our special series on the official findings from the DOJ's investigation into Phoenix PD. As we break down the DOJ's historic report and turn the written version into video, you can follow along. The QR code pulls up an official copy of the DOJ's report. Now, this story covers the section showing how Phoenix PD unlawfully restricts protected speech and expression, specifically how the department retaliates against protesters with unlawful arrests. Now, this is something we've proven irrefutably over the years, and our reporting on every case you'll see in this story is a main reason why the DOJ launched its 3-year investigation into Phoenix PD.
The Phoenix Police Department violates the rights of people engaged in protected speech.
In their report, the Department of Justice cited several examples of how Phoenix worked to build false cases against protesters. Quote, Phoenix PD supervisors decided in advance which protesters to target. Before protests, the lieutenant in charge would distribute flyers to officers with protesters' names and pictures.
Names and pictures. In case you can't remember in the briefing we had earlier who and what you're looking for, here's some pictures with their names.
Pictures.
Phoenix police lied on the stand to add more charges against this high-profile activist.
And then they lied on the stand. Last time I heard that was perjury and you could go to jail for it. Well, we can, but government, not so much.
Here's one of the cases we exposed.
ABC 15 investigator Dave Biscobing obtained evidence showing Bruce Spanks Jr. was tracked and targeted before being arrested.
Here's what the DOJ report states. Multiple officers falsely claimed protesters bull-rushed a police line, when in fact it was the police officers who pushed into the protesters.
Of course it was, because who are you going to believe? You or your lying eyes?
As protesters faced a line of officers outside police headquarters in August 2020, one of the protest leaders called for calm, repeatedly telling the protesters to relax.
Relax!
See if they scream and holler loud enough, they got the authority, then they can get on the stand and say, I was scared, officer safety. Bullshit.
The protesters stood still, but the officers stepped forward, pushing into them.
Of course they
Report
did.
continues in their incident reports.
They're just waiting to hit somebody with a baton or fire some pepper balls or something.
3 officers falsely claimed that the leader and another protester had locked arms and aggressively charged the officers. Now, here's another case we uncovered.
Right now, video of a protester being tackled and arrested by Phoenix police. The protester is Suvarna Ratnam, and we'll be showing this video a few times in this story because it further shows Phoenix officers cannot be trusted in these protest cases.
The DOJ
Most officers can't be trusted in these protest cases.
wrote, to support felony charges, an officer falsely claimed that a protest leader stabbed a sergeant with the sharpened tip of an umbrella. According to the officer, the umbrella had a 3-inch sharpened metal tip that the protester used to stab him in the hand. These claims were not true. Body-worn camera videos show the protester held the umbrella pointed toward the ground the entire time she was running, and a photograph of the umbrella tip shows it had not been sharpened.
I was holding on to a dollar store umbrella with a plastic tip that I think is impossible to sharpen.
ABC 15 would also prove the lies got bigger and bolder. Police and prosecutors
Of course they get bigger and bolder. Just like kids. They get away with the little one, and then the next time it's a little bigger, and they get away with that. And next time it's a little bigger, and before you know it, they're getting away with all of it. They don't care.
invented a gang and then falsely charged protesters as members.
Phoenix
Cops are a gang.
Police and the Maricopa County Attorney's Office claim they're more dangerous than notorious gangs like the Crips and the Bloods.
They the Blue Line gang.
Community groups and legal experts say that's outrageous and an obscene abuse of power. Tonight, ABC 15 investigator Dave Biscobing takes you deeper inside this political persecution and reveals the hypocrisy of Valley law enforcement.
You got to give it to Dave. He is on top of his game.
From the DOJ's report, in October 2020, a small group of protesters faced years in prison after Phoenix PD and county prosecutors falsely claimed they were members of a criminal street gang and had conspired to commit aggravated assault against Phoenix.
You think they care? They don't. Because the more people they can lock up, the more money they get.
PD officers. Phoenix PD supported these serious charges with false statements.
But we confirmed the secret testimony they told jurors, and it is truly unbelievable. To charge as a street gang in Arizona, the law is broad. You just need 2 of the following criteria. And here are the ones that officials say fit this group. They carry umbrellas. They wear mostly black. And they chanted, all cops are bastards.
So if you're black and you got an umbrella and you tell the cops that they're bad, you're part of a gang? Damn.
Sergeant testified to a county grand jury that the protesters belonged to a criminal street gang known as ACAB.
Some shit they made up, and of course, you know, he's higher up in the department, so he must be the smart one. He isn't.
The sergeant analogized ACAB to violent street gangs such as the Bloods and the Crips.
The Crips and the Bloods. For reference, it's estimated that those street gangs have committed more than 15,000 homicides, while this group carries umbrellas.
Our reporting directly led to every one of those criminal cases being
They better not be out there protesting when it rains. They all gonna be locked up.
dismissed. Now, as for lawsuits, every protester in those cases is now suing Phoenix PD, and all of those lawsuits are still ongoing. I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15, Arizona.